stars, and that's who we are. We are voices. There's nothing to fear. Explode in your rear. Feel our voices.
Boom! We are back. It's VOR. This is Ed.
This is Mike. Another day, another dollar. Wagner.
And this is still Terry Gant of Third Coast Comics, 6234 North Broadway, Chicago, Illinois, 60660.
Drop by and buy his shit.
All of it.
All of it.
Shits.
Visa Discover MasterCard. We do not take American Express.
Outstanding. Cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Sorry, Mike. I stepped on your dick.
I was gonna say, yeah, ouch. I was gonna say, so we have talked the Third Coast Comic shop, and now we want to dive deeper into the mind of the man at the store, see what it is exactly that he hates,
Okay.
or has bones with which to pick, and
Bones with which to pick.
Yes.
And at this point right now, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump on the nuts of the Marvel films. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Because I was inspired last night at the anniversary party, where it's the first time I've been to the anniversary party, and I didn't know that you did rants, like a bucket of rants.
Yes. Once the idea is once it's dark, once the sun goes down, all day long people have been putting topics for me to speechify upon into a pitcher, a bucket, if you will. And once it gets dark, every hour I will stand upon a chair and pick a topic, or pick four topics, you know. And then, depending on how long the party's going to go, I will do my feelings about this thing.
Yep. No holds barred.
And the Marvel movies is the one we picked? There had to be other things. What the hell? I love this.
This thing was full of things, and I just reached my hand in and just grabbed something.
Oh, okay, so it was that random. That's cool.
Yeah.
I love this.
And it was inspirational, and it was fantastic. So, yeah, the Marvel movies definitely stood up, because I love the Marvel movies. I have been there. I loved Avengers. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I love that we did our show about Guardians of the Galaxy, and love that nobody knew that who these characters were, and I thought this movie was going to fail, and I didn't think I would like it, and I ended up walking out of it and loving it, and it was a very interesting perspective that you brought to it.
And here's why. Did you love the A-Team movie?
I didn't see the A-Team movie.
Yeah, you did. It was called Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
Oh, I love it.
Like, people walked out of it loving it, and it's like we're conditioned now to love a Marvel movie. We're conditioned to it. If Marvel announces tomorrow that there will be a Howard the Duck movie, half the internet will be like, yes, Howard the Duck! And all those people are going to be below the age of 26, right? They've never heard of Howard the Duck. They don't give a shit. But Marvel said Howard the Duck. Oh, man, the Duck's getting a movie. It's going to be great. Duck versus Thanos. You know? It's just some dumb shit. Like, all Marvel really did was recreate the A-Team movie, or like just give you the A-Team. They gave you a bumbling hero dude, right? They gave you a tattooed, knife-wielding, stoic force. They gave you a raccoon. They gave you a tree and a hot chick. Like, they didn't really. Yeah, man, that's the A-Team, honestly. You know,
Right.
All that was missing was I ain't getting on no damn plane. You know, that's the only thing missing from this movie. They didn't give you much else, and if you really watched it, it was awkward.
You did have that with Drax. Drax was BA.
Drax was BA.
Drax was BA.
Yeah, it was the A-Team, right? I'm telling you, now you see it. You know,
very clear.
And Marvel fans are just like, they see the M when the comic book panels start going across the screen at the beginning. Everybody's like, oh shit, here we go! Like they're at the amusement park.
Yeah. Right.
Marvel's gonna take me on a ride, and you can just feel the vacuum in your pocket, just sucking the money out.
Oh yeah.
Well, I do want to throw this out, and this is just to be I guess to be in some way the devil's advocate, because I have not seen the film, and I'm not a leading expert on any level of Guardians of the Galaxy. However, when it comes to a team film, wouldn't you feel as though it's incumbent upon you to plug in the archetype characters? And there really are so many basic characters that fit these molds that are sort of necessary. You do need your your BA. You do need your Murdoch crazy ape shit. You know, loose cannon. You need your glib. You know, serious.
Smartass.
Smartass, right? Yeah. That said, how do we avoid the A-Team movie?
You have to make them well-rounded, right? Just because someone's BA doesn't mean he's just BA, right? The thing that got missed here was that Thanos' actual desire, Drax's actual desire to fight Thanos isn't entirely just because Thanos killed his family somehow, right? Thanos didn't directly kill his family. The issue is that that Drax the Destroyer's body was destroyed, and he's in a genetically engineered body, right? He's trapped inside this body that is not his, right? He didn't want this body. Now he's a killing machine, but he'd rather just be human again. He's lost his humanity, right? That's a thing that doesn't come across here.
But could it be that since you're introducing, and this is a thing where a lot of fans get confused about books versus movie.
Yeah.
You know, they'll get upset that, like, you'll see a 2-hour movie about a character, and they're like, oh, they missed the point. Oh, what about this character and this history? I mean, you only have 2 hours in which to sell the character and the story. You can't follow every detail. So could it just be that, you know, this is the introduction to Guardians of the Galaxy? Let's bring them in with the sugar.
I think it can be that as long as you hit that right up front, we don't have to go back to it. Once you drop that in there as character development, we can now charge full headlong into all the cotton candy and popcorn you want, right? Outside of that, it's just people punching each other. You know, it is the Expendables, right? And we like the Expendables not because its plot is great. We like the Expendables because somehow we still recognize Dolph Lundgren on our screen. You know, we recognize that Jason Statham and Jet Li and that dude from Are We There Yet is like they're on our screen. Like that's we recognize those guys, right? So we want them to still be them, right? In a comic book movie, the thing that draws you into superheroes isn't just that they wear capes and punch, right? It is that somewhere along the way, especially for Marvel characters, there is a tragic hook for all of them, so that a soccer mom can take her kids to go see a Marvel film while having no idea who the hell any of these characters are, but still understand why it is Marvel characters ever mattered. You know, and without the tragic hook, none of these characters are worth a damn.
Exactly. And I think they pretty much hit on everybody's tragedy. I mean, you're saying the thing about Drax alone. It makes more sense for his character knowing this. But you're right. In the movie, this isn't addressed. It's just that his family was obliterated, and it's just revenge.
And what I just said, even to the fandom out there, they might just think, well, I didn't know it, and I didn't need to know it. I love the movie anyway. Yeah. I'm just saying there is. You know, making a film that you know you're going to make a shit ton of money on, which Marvel there was no bet Marvel took. No, Marvel had no risk going in here, the way that Marvel movies have made money so far. Marvel's already decided not to make another Hulk movie. So they've already mitigated risk, right? They know some things would be iffy that to fuck with again, right? Guardians was not really that much of a risk with the approach that they took.
Interesting, because when the latest Hulk did come out, you know, it's a superior movie.
Yes.
I mean, compared to the first Hulk, I love the second Hulk.
Yeah.
But it was a soft release. They just kind of put it out there and was like, let's not.
And then once you started comparing dollars for Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor, it was like, well, we're not going back to that again. Yeah. We certainly don't need a third Hulk movie.
But Guardians had a lot more push. Yes. With absolutely, I'm sorry, not absolutely, but unknown characters.
Right.
So it seemed like a gamble.
Unknown to the movie-going universe at large, like known to people reading Marvel comics of the last 10 years. You know?
The whole issue. It's funny that when that sort of, it seems as though the Hulk, in and of himself, it seems to, especially in the films, seems to get that sort of feedback a lot. In that, you know, why tell this story? Even a second, better version was done, and it still did nothing. And the whole soft release and everything. I almost, and I'm not saying that I'm Mr. Clairvoyant or anything like this, but if someone were to ask me, you know, which characters should we try and avoid, I would, making a film out of, why would anyone ask this question, but I would tend to say the characters that don't speak, characters that have, that almost have nothing as far as a personality is concerned.
Right. When the Hulk is on the screen, he's not actually communicating with the audience.
Right. Like when the Hulk is the Hulk and doing the Hulk thing, you're really not getting anything other than rage, and which is cool and it looks great on film and everything. However, that's the Hulk, and even in the Avengers, he was just kind of a passing note. He almost just visually rounded out the lineup.
Yeah.
Well, he's there.
He was
because
really
he's supposed
there.
to be there.
He's supposed to be there, and you have to look at the silhouette of the group, and it's got that one big hulking.
Right. Which is very much a Marvel thing too. Like Marvel's comics are that way. For the longest time, they were putting, they put teams together to produce comics, and there's always got to be, this hulking brute just to say, look, they've even got a powerhouse guy. The Hulk is the Avengers powerhouse guy. Never mind the fact that Iron Man and Thor are both also there.
So,
Well, yeah.
well, let me explain this because I was completely blinded by her beauty, but I've never understood her place in this whole Marvel juggernaut of successful movies.
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow.
Sure.
I mean, all these super-powered, intelligent, skilled, ultimate characters. They keep throwing her in there, and I know that she's sexy, and I force myself to look past that, and it's really difficult, people.
I can explain this. I have an idea about this, and this is
Yeah.
something I've been trying to get across to people. For all the love that people heap upon Marvel and Hollywood, the one thing that Hollywood and Marvel in particular had to deal with when coming up with an Avengers lineup was they had to consider which lady Avengers deserved to be in this movie, right? And they picked Black Widow because it seems to me, just looking at the history of the female protagonist in action film, they are always super sexy ninja chicks. They go to super sexy ninja so much. They go to that more than they go to that more than pro wrestling promoters go to Samoans have hard heads, right? They go there so fast. It had to be looking at that lineup. They were like, well, the Wasp, we can use her. I mean, we can cast her as a scientist. She shrinks. She's got a unique power. She's got bioelectric stings. She's a social entity similar to Tony Stark. No, but she's not a super sexy ninja. We can't use that. They could have used Ms. Marvel, right? Her Marvel's in her name. Or Captain Marvel currently in the comics, right? Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers had energy powers, could fly, was invulnerable, had super strength. Would have been a strong positive like lady character to throw into this mix here, right? Could have easily started as a SHIELD agent, right? Like SHIELD embedding an overt superpowered agent into the Avengers would have been a fine thing to go with, but no, she's not a super sexy ninja chick.
Yeah, interesting. So they went with the lowest common denominator.
That's what that is. It's not even brothers having to be pimps and hustlers and that of the 70s. It is that, but with boobs, and those boobs are behind ninja masks every time, right? And now that Scarlett Johansson is that, no one else is saying, well, who else are the Lady Avengers? That's a question I never get asked.
No kidding.
I get asked, do you have any Black Widow stuff? Because she's an Avenger, but I never get in 75 years of Marvel Comics-ish, 50 years of the Avengers, how many of them were women? And where are their comics?
Yeah.
No one has ever asked me that question. Black Widow's the one they got. Black Widow's the one they accept.
Right.
Right.
Well, maybe tomorrow you can answer that question for us.
All right.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh my rascally podcaster. Awesome. Yeah, we will be back tomorrow and talking more comics, movies with Terry and Mike and Eddie. And in the meantime, you can learn more about us, what you're listening to, or what you're seeing here in beautiful YouTube land or Stitcher land at www.vorradio.com. So links to our show, our voicemail, our email, and our Facebook group. So feel free to drop us a line, interact with us. You disagree? You probably will. So
Lots of people do.
Absolutely, but we will totally hear you out. We listen to every voicemail, and we will play them or read them in fourth segment. It sounds like next week maybe all listening.
Sure.
And that's great. So bring it. Cool. And that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with more of this. So yeah, hey kids, hey the Force.
Be with.
Badass!
Nice.